Can you give me a brief introduction for yourself so that people who are watching either on YouTube or on stream could know a bit more about who you are and your background is on League?
Yes, I'm NowtsNA, aka Fallenoob. I play League. I was playing League since season 2, and then I stopped around season 7 to season 11 in League.
Mm.
My peak was around Diamond in season 5 or 6, and then I returned around yeah, I returned nung Worlds lang. Like before that, I got interested in playing it again, and then ayun, there are days na um natuwa ako sa game again. There were days na I played multiple games in one sitting. Ganun. So ayun, natuwa ulit ako maglaro, and then I grinded again um while it was habang Worlds. So I was a hard stuck gold last season for that duration lang ng preseason and a part of yung last season din. Pero short lang yung time ko dun eh na rank.
Mm.
And then now I got placed in, I think it was bronze, and then I ranked up until my current rank, which is silver 2.
Okay.
Ayan.
Oh, by the way, I didn't. I should have prefaced this. Do you prefer English or Filipino for the whole thing?
Okay lang sa akin English or any actually.
Any? Okay, good. I'm going with
Yeah,
my home court English. Uh,
sige. Yeah. Fine.
so okay. Do you have your OP.GG somewhere so I could check?
Yes. Uh,
You just DM on
I'll,
Discord.
sige. Send ko na lang yung link.
I want to see. So the first thing I want to see is that um I guess your pre-game stuff before this Karma game. Because
Yeah.
yeah, a good part of this game is actually not the game itself. The game starts in like runes and spells. It was
Yeah, no,
updated.
kaya I highlighted dun yung ano, yung draft ko kasi I feel like it all starts there then.
Yeah. Right.
So,
And before we get into the specific stuff, okay, at least I'm gonna have this on. Please chat can see it. Um, why did you even like enter the sub raffle thing? Like, what got into your head when you were um I don't know, trying to get a chance to win a coaching session?
because I wanted to get good. Basic
True,
answer was that.
true. Simple man, I see.
But yeah,
But could you like? Is there anything else?
yeah, I'd like to elaborate lang na because my pride says I was a ex diamond and I've been playing with, back in college I was playing with the collegiate teams back then, and then
Mm.
like now,
What
like
what
I
collegiate team?
DLS.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So ayun, I've been playing. I have a friend actually, but I don't know if he still plays now. Yeah, I never seen him online recently na. But ayun, I do not want to accept that I am silver gold. That is why.
I see. I see. It's a pride thing, like
Yes.
okay. I get you. I get you. Do you think you have a specific aspect that like we could talk about during the session that you think is really important for you to learn, or some weakness of yours that you want to get fixed, you're aware of?
Yes, kasi before I was a top mid role. And then now I am still finding my current role now. So I've been playing mostly Phil. So I've been learning support and jungle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my highest my highest game was highest games played was my Twitch, as you can see in my um
Yep.
OPGG. That's Twitch AP support actually.
Okay.
So I have been learning the support, but ayun, I think kasi for me enchanter supports are not for me.
Wow, why is that?
Yeah, because my playstyle coming from top lane, uh, more of a brawl type of ano ako. So I like skirmishes, like the small fights.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm inclined to playing these Karma, Twitch, because early on you could like damage the enemy. I'm very aggressive, basically. My playstyle is very aggressive. So I
Mm,
get caught out multiple times.
I see. All right. I mean, so in like I'm not sure if I missed it, but like what specific aspect are we looking forward in your gameplay then? Like one
Mm,
that you want to get fixed.
yeah, I like to know uh the timings of which when could I be aggressive and when should I pull back.
Oh,
That
right. Because you mentioned earlier, you're getting caught a lot for
yeah.
well, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get over that in the Karma VOD because Karma is one of the more aggressive, I would say, amongst because Karma is a weird champ in a sense that he can function as an enchanter in a sense with all the shields, but in a similar vein, um, in the laning phase or in the early stages of the game, often she would be the aggressor and the poke mage in bot lane. So
Mm.
yeah. Um, what do you think are the biggest struggles in your climbing journey? Like I guess right now in in the current season.
Yeah. Current Since most of my games were support,
Mm,
I feel like I trust my teammates too much to do to do most of the work.
okay.
But yeah, when I play enchanter supports, that's mostly what I think is, not to say na, na it's all my teammates' fault, but um, I feel like I don't have much impact as a support, enchanter support specifically.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you feel like the struggle you have in your games because we could see your win rate. It's like 46%. And you've been losing the past few games. So there are some struggles for sure, and like you
Yeah.
feel like you're not making as big of an impact when you're playing support. Is that what I'm getting?
Yep. Yeah.
Um, is there anything else that you want to like share before we go over like the rest of the coaching session that's like relevant?
Mm,
Like anything else I need to know about you or as a player or like as a person or as a player?
as mm, I may be pinging question mark things to watch in game.
That's that's fine. That should be fine. Okay. All right. So let's go over some of the pre-game stuff. So I'm assuming this is the Karma game. This one, the third
Yes,
game.
yes.
Oh, I should be instead of watching. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. Oh wait, hold on. Let me just. Uh, so you can see it live. I forgot this what I used to do. Yeah, do you see it?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So, so this right, the third game.
Yeah, the third one. Yep.
Okay, so let's look at your screens. Okay. Right off the bat, um, I like that you chose Airy. Is there a specific reason why you chose Airy?
Mm, because it's both offensive and defensive. That's why I just picked it. Before I picked Comet, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like um, Aries more useful in general na. That's why. Yeah.
Um, yeah, everything else pretty standard though after the Airy. A lot of people pick Comet for some reason. Mainly it's because they like the dopamine kick that you have like from
Yeah.
hitting the comets and like dealing more damage. Ultimately, for everyone's knowledge, the damage is very minimal. like the damage difference between like Airy and Comet, because you do get to proc Airy more often. But the difference is, yeah, like what you said, it's both like offensive and defensive. So, if you're picking Comet over Airy, then what would happen is you would lose out on some of the shielding value later on, which is what Karma will turn out to be after the laning phase. Um, okay, so yeah, Mana Flow, Transcendence. The choice of Scorch. Can you elaborate on why you chose Scorch?
Um, I just picked it for fun, basically. But
Okay,
yeah,
but
I kind of preferred ano na lang here. The Gathering Storm, was it? Felt like it was a better option
but you well,
for Karma.
that's weird for you to
Yeah.
say, because like if you think that Gathering Storm was the better option, then why'd you pick Scorch? Why do you think
Uh,
Gathering Storm is better?
No, looking at it now, yeah.
Oh, it's like
Also with
hindsight.
yeah, hindsight. Yeah. Also with the Transcendence, I think was it Celerity, the one in the middle?
The
The movement speed one.
similarities with move speed, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's also nice for Karma. In Yeah, looking at it now. Because I usually just use uh the guide, the mastery guide, the one beside
For runes,
the runes, yeah.
yeah.
I use that and then I usually edit it, but I for some reason I think I didn't. I just ignored this game.
Okay, so that's gonna be your first step of like actually trying to improve. Is that the thing is with current League of Legends, almost every game has different runes. Depending on like what the enemies picked and what your champions picked or what your teammates picked, right? Um, Now more than ever has runes been so dynamic that um, you know, that we are at the point where you can pick so many different combinations um for like getting into a game. So this game specifically, um there is a choice between Scorch and Gathering Storm. Actually, that's like the most common thing you would pick from Karma at this point. Um Transcendence pretty much always going to be better than Celerity. You will never be in a position where you could make use of the extra movement speed compared to the ability haste that Transcendence gives you, plus the sort of like soft reset on takedowns on level 11. So Transcendence is like a must on Karma. You always want to, ability haste keeps you shielding your teammates, keeps spamming your Qs, and basically resetting your mantras. And that's how enchanters play out late game. Um, the main choice here between Scorch and Gathering Storm. Now, the in my opinion, the correct answer here is to actually take Scorch. Um, even though I'm a huge like advocate of Gathering Storm, the difference in this game specifically is that you are Lucian Karma versus MF Lux. If there's one goal in this lane, it's for you to kill your lane opponents. Like that's it.
Mhm.
Because you have an aggressive lane. They also have an aggressive lane setup, but also they're very immobile. Not like, you know, MF has a dash or anything crazy. So if you engage with Lucian, you tag them with a root or like a slow, and Lucian dashes in. The extra damage from either getting pokes before that or during the all in would somehow make the difference because you don't know. You're not certain if they'll live off like a few HP. It might help over the long run of like multiple trades. So this pretty much like uh makes the kill threshold like wider, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So this is really good for like setting up kills in lane. A lot of people have no idea like how how much like Scorch ramps up over the course of a long laning phase because like people
Mm.
run potions and stuff like that, but potions got nerfed. So it like inadvertently Scorch technically got buffed in a sense. but only in like rare situations like this. I would say like your default go-to would be Gathering Storm because enchanters like to scale late game, and then you benefit a lot from like getting free AP. I mean, it's free AP. Like, can't hate on it. Okay, and then you said that you're going by the rune recommender on the secondary,
Yeah.
or on this whole thing. So like, if you had the choice to choose what the secondary is, would you still take the same thing?
Yeah, the secondary biscuit and the ability haste.
Okay, why
That's
is that?
usually parang it's either that or the resolve 3.
Okay, and then
I
what are
think
you
for
taking on
Car
on resolve?
resolve the bone plating's the one that you get 3 attacks, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Bone plating and the overgrowth for HP. But I went this one for the lane, the biscuit, and the ability. This gives ability haste, right?
Yes, it gives ability haste and item
Yeah.
haste,
Yeah. Ayun.
or spell haste and item haste. Okay, so um, here's a free tip for you. Don't take inspiration on karma, and I say this for like most enchanters. You know what's so broken about enchanters? It's it's the revitalize rune. I'll show you what it is. I'll read it out to you like for you to realize how broken it is. It says gain 5% heal and shield power for free. And then heals and shields you cast or receive are 10% stronger on targets below 40% health. That latter part that I just read is so clutch, especially in late game team fights, because if you have ever fought against like a good karma, like it is very annoying to face against like shields and shields and shields. And it feels like you can never chew through their shields unless you have like an insane amount of burst damage, or Serpent's Fang or something like that, like shield
Mm-mm.
mitigation, right? And so Revitalize makes it more obnoxious for enchanters like Karma, and I think you should run it every game, basically.
Mm.
There is almost no reason not to. Combine that with the fact that you're running like Transcendence and Airy, which also helps with your healing and shielding like uptime. It's it's wild. Trust me, I think you will win more games simply by just modifying your runes a little bit better. Because realistically, yes, the biscuits might help you in lane, sure, and like Cosmic Insight will give you a bit more value like late game, but late game wise, I would always choose Revitalize over Cosmic Insight because of how much I could actively help my team. The thing is, with Summoner Spell Haste and Item Haste, I mean, realistically, like that's just okay. A bit off cooldown from my Redemption if I'm ever running Redemption, and some games you don't even pick that. Um, okay, I get to flash to save myself more because oftentimes when you're playing Karma, you use flash to save yourself. Um, okay, I get to ignite a bit more, even though ignite doesn't scale later in the game. Maybe if I was running exhaust, it had a little bit more value, but even then, it's not like you know, um, fights are too fast that you can't just wait for an exhaust to come up with a better fight. So I would always take Revitalize, and
Mm.
Resolve Tree also gives you way more like stuff. For example, common thing I would like to combine with Revitalize, actually Font of Life. And this procs so often with Karma. Just tag them with your Q. It's a slow. It
Yeah.
marks them. Now your teammates heal. So Karma, besides the annoying shields, now is starting to heal your teammates. Crazy. It is crazy how this try to run this rune on like a few games and look at the like the runes number. You know what I mean? Like when you open
Yeah.
the, the
The
match, yeah. Like you
the
can check the
healing done.
numbers. Yeah, the
Yeah.
healing done by this rune, it is crazy. Like for a minor rune to do so much, especially in the mid to late game stages, like it is almost like so hard to pass on Font of Life plus Revitalize. Some matchups, um, especially hard ones, for example here, MF Lux, I would consider taking stuff like Bone Plating or like Conditioning or Second Wind, anything in the middle part, because the the gimmick in their lane is that if you get hit by one thing like make it rain, or not make it rain, what's it called, like the slow of E,
The
MFE, yeah,
EOMF.
whatever, that thing, I think it is make it rain. If you get hit by MFE or like Lux Binding or something like that, you will get full comboed and you just get one shot. So sometimes getting a bit more tankier is also valuable. That's what I mean. You get so much more options on the resolve tree than anything you could ever, and it's more impactful. Um, and then compared to like whatever you can get on it, inspiration,
Mm.
like it's just free stuff. So go ahead and try that. I would bet that if we go over the VOD, we probably won't even see a whole lot of like proper biscuit usage. And I'll explain that later. What I mean by that,
Yeah.
and I'll show you like instances where you not having cosmic insight wouldn't have mattered, and you would regret not running like resolve this game.
Mm. Okay.
so so yes, okay, and then we go to the shards. Um, would you have changed anything else here? If it was your choice, or
Mm, situationally, I get ability haste on the first row,
okay,
but I opted for the AP for shields. Basically, I don't think uh the ability haste is that good
okay.
yet. Yeah.
How about everything else?
So everything else, the second row, I switched from armor and the ability, the what do you call that? The AP, adaptive damage.
Adaptive, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I usually switch between them, but I got that for basically more power, more damage, and more healing power.
Okay,
So yeah, and then I don't move the third at all.
all right.
So yeah.
Now a lot of these like rune stats, or I call them shards, is personally up to preference, but like I would just to point out a few things in future games. When you're playing Karma, um oftentimes the choice between the first slot is, are you playing for better lane power? Then if yes, then you go for the adaptive, because the extra adaptive helps you with the early poke. Um
Mhm.
Later on, this adaptive force doesn't really matter all too much as an enchanter, but the ability haste is much more valuable if you're playing towards like scaling, like, oh, I want to press like shield toward my teammates, haha, free low, you know.
Mhm. Okay.
So that's the idea. And then um in you have to envision your item build a bit further to know what to choose on the second and third pick. What do I mean by that? Um so right now, Karma's best, I think. So personally, I'm not a big fan of Radiant Virtue. I think um this item is not impactful enough to change. Like, how do I say this? Like, it has, the thing is, when you read this item, it feels as if like um you are giving some, you're giving your teammates like some HP
HP.
and a little bit of like ability haste, but like in very like rare situations do you actually find like good impact on this item. um and also it's like 3,000 gold. The thing with enchanters and supports in general is that you're running on a low economy, so that's why I avoid items like this. So for me, the best mythics for Karma is you either go Moonstone. By default, Moonstone is, I think, the best. You go it in like 60% of your games, or 70%, and then you choose between either Aurelius or Locket, depending on the situation of the team comps. If you find yourself going Moonstone or Shorelia, if you feel like you're gonna go that in that game, I think you go adaptive into scaling HP. The reason why you should go the scaling HP route specifically, I don't think a lot of people know this. Um, Unless your first like few levels matter. Say like maybe in this specific game it's a bit different, right? Because you are playing a bit for lane because you have Lucian and they have a very strong and aggressive bot lane as well, being MF. There is value to armor, but like you have to also consider um like picking scaling HP in some instances where the first like 9 levels is like negligible. A good example of this is like, let's say for example is like I don't know, something like Severe Lulu. There's no way you're gonna kill them as like Lucian Karma. Like 9 times out of 10, if they're a bit human and they don't just run into you and take free damage, they will probably not die, not early. So get the free HP because this has more like gold efficiency past level 9 compared to the armor, which is just flat.
Mm-mm.
So that's a final one. So you go adaptive and HP. Now, if you go for the locket build, it's a bit different. Sometimes you can still go scaling HP, but sometimes like an early game comp that's like super disgusting. Say something like, I don't know, you're up against like a LeBlanc, Elise on jungle and mid, and then they have like an enemy Lux as well in bot. You might go like double MR early because you never know where you're gonna get like, I don't know,
Yeah.
4-man bot, or
A
some,
random bush.
yeah, or something crazy, or like you're trying to ward and like, oh, all of a sudden there's like Elise and LeBlanc waiting for you. You might need the extra like early game stats, but same principles apply. If you don't think like um they're gonna get there's enough like one damage source, whether it's physical or magical, in the early game that can like destroy you, then take scaling HP. It's just a safe pick. Um, and then you just choose between armor MR depending on who you think is like a better threat early. Uh, Probably armor because you're up against an ADC in the early game. But yeah, that's gonna be your rune choices or like your shard choices, um, for whenever you know you're going the locket build. That's the runes. I'll go over the skill order stuff later on, but I hope you understand. Like, did you get like why you should
Yeah.
start thinking about your runes from now on?
Yes.
Because it's like I'm telling you, um, almost like I would say 80%, if not, I don't know, that's being generous. I think 80% of like people who are playing this game are just brain dead using the same preset runes. And sometimes that's okay. Actually, some champions run the same runes. For example, um, I played a lot of Belveth recently,
Yeah.
and she basically runs the same runes almost every game, except she switches from like Legend Alacrity and Tenacity. That's it. But like those exceptions are very small. A lot of champions in the league are actually very versatile, especially supports and like mid laners. Actually, every lane. I think jungle is like the least flexible ones because they kind of have like an optimal rune page, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the VOD. Um, right. So go over. Okay. Also, by the way, before I actually go to the VOD proper, I just want to mention if you're really serious about climbing, don't do what you're doing here, where you're like you're just. What I think you're trying to do is you're trying to sort of pick what's like a good blind pick, or what's like a good counter pick because of the lane, what's like a good thing to draft based on team comps. That doesn't exist. Okay, you're in silver, um you're playing solo queue. Let's try not to be fancy. Just play your best champs and you will have a higher chance of winning the game. Like, say for example, you're a Twitch main. I don't know, you just love Twitch. You just feel like, you know, you enjoy League of Legends more when you're playing Twitch. You feel like you're at your best, then just keep playing Twitch. Doesn't matter what the matchup is. If you feel like it's a hard matchup, get better at it. You know, try to find other ways to win instead of playing a different champion and then, like getting lost in the sauce when you're put into a different situation that you're not comfortable with. Um, so I would say right now, having like 16 different champion picks at the start of the season when you only have how many games? Like
Around 20, 30.
around
29.
28 games is not a healthy number. I not a healthy number for climbing. I understand
Yeah.
what you're doing. That should be how to play the game. But I feel like it's only relevant in like higher levels, like Master Tier Plus, when you're thinking about draft. Okay. There's that. But can't fix the past. All you can do from this point is to limit your champion pool in the future, right? And
Yeah.
let's get over the bot. Okay. So yeah, now I see that you're going to the rune recommender. It's fine. At the very least, what I would say about the rune recommender is that it doesn't give you like terrible runes. Like I don't know, you're not going to get given like grasp on like support karma
Yeah.
ever. So it saves some of the people, but at the same time, um, like what I told you earlier, there is much more value within just what the rune recommends you because it's not like the rune recommender can adapt to what the enemy team comp is, what you're trying to do in lane and stuff like that. Okay, all right. So when you're loading into the loading screen, besides the poor professor, um, what are you thinking about? Let me get a good like. Is there like a good loading screen um image here? Here, when you're loading into the game, what's going through your head like
uh,
the game?
yeah. Top one, Zac Fiora. So for sure, I'm gonna go second item. What do you call this for the team? Second anti-healing second item.
Okay.
For lane, MF Lux. Based on their picks, it will. I feel like it. They will be hard to uh catch them because of the range. Because Lucian gets outranged by both of them. So yeah. And then our team comp wise, we're low range compared to the enemy team. So it's best to just let the enemy engage, we counter engage na lang. That's what I've been thinking this uh pre-game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um. So a few things to note from your thought process. You never mentioned how you're going to approach laning phase. Like you dabbled on it a bit. Um. You said like we're a bit out of range in bot lane, so it's gonna be hard. But you didn't go through the process of like how should I play my first like 3 levels? Like what do I do level 1? What do I do level 2? What do I do level 3? And so on and so forth. Because remember, in this game, the way to be consistent in solo queue, especially, is to work on yourself. So you need to make a plan for yourself. The thing is, your idea of the team comps may or may not be correct. But you won't know whether that will play out exactly the way you envision it. There's no way. You have no idea who's Exposito on your team. You will never like see this guy ever again besides this game. So
Mm,
instead, formulate a plan in the early game that will be like core tool for you. And why is early game so important, you think?
because if you win lane, you win game.
Besides that,
uh, well, so that it won't be a hard game coming into the later stages of the game, like mid game, late game, kasi you could capitalize on your leads and translate it to push towers or dragon baron eventually.
okay, so I
I don't know.
it's fine. It's fine. Those aren't bad. It's correct. You're right. Um, but the thing I want to ingrain in your mind, that's why of like how important early game is, especially for like climbing, is that the mid to late game stages of League of Legends are dictated by so many other factors. Does this Fiora get fed? Is the Zed able to roam at some point after getting like 3 items and then one shotting like your jungler and you can't play objectives anymore? Like like there are so many other variables you have to think of, but the only thing consistent in every game is that you will have to go through the laning phase. You can't force yourself out of it. You have to play it. And it's the same thing. You could run like let's say hypothetically, if you run the same game, same 10 people, same 10 champions, like 100 times, the only thing that would like remain consistent there is like the events that would happen in the laning phase. Maybe in some games Zed doesn't get fed. Maybe Zed gets rolled over in mid lane, it's doomed. Maybe Fiora at some point starts diving Gnar, and then Viego actually was there for a counter gank this time. So many things would change. But like
Mm.
but like that's not up to you anymore. Yeah. That's up to chance. So for you to just make sure that okay, in 90 out of 100 of those games, I am able to, have an impact and like, be consistent, I need to have an early game plan. That's it. That's my best shot. Because if you do well in the early game, yes, you're right. It's gonna make it easier for the rest of the game. But also, that means you've done your job. If, for example, you win lane, bot lane because of you, but other lanes are losing, that's fine. It happens. It's one of those like few games in the 100 game simulation that you just lost in other lanes. But there's an alternate situation where because of how well you played in the early game in bot, other lanes are also winning. Let's say you're able to roam mid and help your mid laner. They're able to roam top, and then now Fiora can't play. So many things would happen off of just your success in bot lane, and that's the only thing we can control. I wanna keep emphasizing that the reason why you should stop focusing on thinking about drafting, thinking about what like how these like team comps like interact from the loading screen. I'm like from the loading screen, like it's different when you're trying to internalize it in game. Like when the game is progressing to mid game and late game. Yes, you will eventually have to think about um like how team comps interact. But the very first thing you have to achieve is that you have to play well in lane. That's it. All right, good so far.
No. Yeah.
Any questions?
So how like in detail dapat I should like kunwari start of the laning phase once after we in case that Viego starts we leash Viego, 'di ba? So how do we formulate that plan basically?
So you formulate that plan by a couple of things. So you know for sure. Well, you know a couple of things. So in a lot of instances, the common variable will be your best friend. So common variables here are Lucian will start Q. You will also start Q because of Mantra Q level 1. Um, Lux will probably start E, and Misfortune, given her runes, will probably start E as well for some early poke. So knowing that, you can then start to formulate a plan. So okay, um, let's say they're going for some heavy poke. I want to make sure that maybe let's say level 1, I want to guarantee that my mantra Q hits. So from level 1, I get some early damage on, and maybe Lucian can follow it up with a Q while they're slowed or something like that. Like ideally, we
Okay.
want to get some early poke damage because they don't have a lot of sustain,
Oo.
for example.
Okay.
You know, like that sort of dynamic. Um, and say like in future levels, okay, I'm going to level 2. My ADC is also going to level 2. What abilities am I picking next? Am I picking E or W? Is my Lucian taking my dash or taking the dash? What are the enemy teams picking? And then you start formulating from then on, right? Like you
Mm.
start building. Now I'm sure this isn't like an easy task, like for every pre-game stuff.
Mm.
That's why it's important to start training your mind to start thinking about this because for advanced players, people who are like diamond players and above or stuff like that, this happens almost instantaneously. I mean, some people take a few more minutes, 1 or 2 minutes, to formulate their plans if they're being like super try hard about the game. But specifically for like challengers and like pros, it's like instant. They just know. Like they've seen this before, they've thought about this before, so they know what to do. But if you're working from your way up, from where you are right now, you have to start training yourself. Okay, from champ select actually, you can start thinking about this from champ select because like people tend to pick their champions early. Um,
Mm.
you can start thinking about it. And then as you're loading into the game, start thinking about it because the thing with ranked games is that the the person who thinks less about their like gameplay oftentimes lose. We call that autopiloting, right? Um,
Mm. Okay.
so the more active it is that you're trying to think about like how you're going to win the game, uh, the likely it is that you're gonna have like a better like gameplay wise because For example, if you have formulated a plan, let's say up to like level 4, then you will know exactly what to expect. You now know what to expect from MF Lux. You know what are you going for in the early stages of like the lane with like Lucian Karma, right? Compared to the, let's say for example, Lux is just brain dead and just autopilot. Like
Mhm.
they'll probably just be like, okay, I'm just walking into lane, I'm gonna throw a few Qs in there, no plan whatsoever, and then they have no idea that maybe in your plan you have envisioned that, okay, level 4 we are stronger, we can just all in them and then we can kill them with my ignite. If the enemy team doesn't think that, then they're gonna die. Actually, a lot of people in lane die that way. They just didn't have like the foresight or the plan that, you know, if like they have like little check boxes, like, okay, if we've poked them sufficiently, can we all in them? If they didn't even think a checkbox exists, they would just oftentimes just be like, oh, wait, what? How did I die there? That's crazy. He did so much damage. You know? So that's, I think, the process of making a plan. It's, again, it can be a bit complicated, especially like early on, but
Yeah.
could be that once you start getting to the habit of doing it every single game, you will start to get faster. So in this case, a lot of what I said in level 1 is true. Just trying to go for poke level 1 is pretty good. Like Mantra Q, guaranteeing it. Level 2, if you guys get level 2 first, then you can all in, possibly go for like early sums to burn. And then yeah, like the rest of the lane is just you either trying to shield their poke or doing the poke yourself. Because both lanes are pretty aggressive and they're looking for a kill. It's just that you guys have the ignite.
Mm-mm.
The only main
Okay.
difference. Okay. So, all right. Let's go lane. Um, already I like that you're not sitting on the tower, not like Lucian, not like Fizz. Okay. Um,
Yeah, and AFK pa si Nar that time.
Mars AFK doesn't help. But okay, this is good. Viego starting top side. Is your map like big or is it just me?
Yeah, I raised it so that I could
See it more.
look at it more. Yeah.
Makes sense. Um. Okay.
Didn't leash.
So what are we looking here? What are we doing?
What I wanted to do is that so that I won't show where the Viego is. I just wait for the timer to around 150 and then I go to lane so that he'll think that the enemy will think that I started red. That's what I usually do. Y- yeah.
Okay, but why do you think it doesn't
Until
work in this case? Because
because
it
they're
doesn't.
silver.
No, no, that's not that.
No?
Like objectively, not like doesn't have to do with the rank. Why do you think? Okay, so I'll go back to when this started to happen. All right, I'll play out the sequence for you.
Yeah.
Right about here. Why do you think this doesn't work? Looking at the map, I'm not sure if you can see it well, but
Hmm.
like if you were if you're the
Lucian
like
already
yeah,
showed himself in
exactly.
lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is no way that there, there's almost no benefit to like single leashing. So there is no, either you're putting yourself at a disadvantage in lane
Mm.
or you're just not fooling anyone. It's one of those like bluffs that this doesn't work, right? Um, a lot of people will just see this as like, well, Karma's hiding on a bush or something. The solution's there, or I don't know. So you being late will have some consequences.
Mm-mm.
What was the consequence from that mini like? Because your camera is watching Viego. Look at this. You're
Yeah.
watching everything else. And this is bad. Why though?
Because I could have went to lane and get XP for
Yes.
the early level too. Yeah.
Yep. But specifically, what information are we missing when we pan over to Viego here?
Nothing.
No, what? No, we are missing information. Like I am trying. Where should our camera be right now instead of here?
Uh, it's a late.
Yes, but what? Why is that? Why is the information? What information are we trying to get from having our camera in lane? What
Huh.
do you want to check?
If the enemies are there na.
Oh, but you can see it in the minimap.
Uh, or minion HP. No.
Well, what's the relation for the minion HP? Like, why is that relevant?
So that if to check if Lucian is pushing para if he wants to level 2 all in ganun.
There you go. You had a part of the answer correct. The thing that you're missing here from the first second that Lucian got the lane is whether or not Lucian will start to hit the wave.
Mm,
Because if he starts hitting the wave, your job is to get out of there. Get out of there
yeah.
wherever your bush is. Get in there and get XP.
Okay.
Because there's no value here. Look at where you are and look at where you're panning your camera. There's no value. You're just wasting time. You're just wasting like you know Viego is clearing blue, you know Viego's clearing Gromp. Nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen. So instead, focus on important things where like meaningful things. Look, in that split second that you actually panned bot, you now realize to yourself maybe that like, oh, I just missed 3 minions. I didn't know Lucian was hitting the wave. I thought he was gonna wait for me. Maybe that's going through your mind. But that's on you.
Uh, yeah.
That's on
So
you.
I thought my thinking there was para Lucian will solo the XP, para he will get level 2 fast. But yeah, I sacrificed the minions so that he could get the XP first. No?
Okay, but like what is the value of like Lucian getting level 2 first or like before like what's the difference? So say hypothetically, we get into a situation where um you know Lucian Lux. I should have my pen open, but it doesn't matter. Um uh Hypothetically where Lucian Lux or sorry, Lucian Karma is like level 2 level 1 and then like the enemy is like both level 1 like Lux
1-1.
MF. What's what's the transformative value of like him getting level 2 faster? What happens? What changes?
Mm, I didn't think it through there.
Right. be-
Honestly.
Right, because it, probably probably it's because um does it work? Wait, you don't see it. You see the
Wala. Yeah, it's just black screen sa akin.
oops, let me change window. Um okay, here. Now do you see it?
Yeah, okay na.
Oh, the wait, my viewers can't.
I could see the drawings na.
Viewers can't.
Oh, wait.
Sorry. Sorry, chat. Okay. Okay, so now, all right. So,
Yeah.
so basically, there's no difference. Like you, like Lucian being level 2, and then them being level 1. There is no difference. It's there's no
Mm,
kill. There's no big trade. Nothing will happen. So why not just sync your levels together, and in this way, if you get level 2 first, you have a much stronger all in than this because you can actually work together. You can't
yeah.
you are unable to help Lucian make anything if you're just like level 2 level 1. You can't. So there's no value. And in most bot lane matchups, there will rarely be a value for like splitting your XP. So always be synced in your HP. Look at what happens. Is that the enemy support who was there already made an impact first before you. Lucian's playing without support. You're griefing. If this is a higher elo lobby, you're gonna get reported in the first few minutes of
Yeah.
the game. Look, he can't play. He can't even walk up to CS. right? So it's hard. The thing is, you could blame Lucian for everything, right? You could blame like, "Oh, well, I wasn't there. Why are you walking up? Why are you pushing the wave?" But yet you're not growing with that mentality, right? You're not going to get better at the game. This Exposito guy is never gonna be in your game again. So instead, you should always like debate on what you could do better. I should have been there. I should have been in the wave, getting XP, pushing the wave with him. I could, instead of like him getting poked here, I could have been here trying to counter poke on MF and dealing some damage, etc. Right? So he can have space to CS. That's all on you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, okay, let's proceed to some of the other stuff. Okay, good mantra Q, solid damage. This could have been happening earlier. All right. Okay, looking for Q again. That's bad.
Yeah, it's pushing the lane kasi.
Yep. Because already, already here, the wave is in an awkward spot. If you all in here, because the lane's like here, right? If you get level 2 here, which is like getting just 1 minion, so maybe this minion is ideal. If you're all in here, which we don't even know if this Lucian is excited to all in anymore because of what happened level 1, they're way too close to tower proximity that they could just easily run away. Right? Like, they're like, nothing's gonna happen. They probably won't even burn sums. So, already we don't want this wave to be pushing towards them even further. But like what we did by queuing this is that it risks the chance for that to happen. Okay, so he's gonna get level 2. This is the situation that you don't want to ever get across, and that's why you shouldn't like start giving, random like solo XP to your ADC, because look at what happens.
Both level 2 sila.
Yep.
Level 1. Yeah.
You're screwed. If this was better players, they would start walking up because they realize, wait, Lucian started hitting the wave before Karma arrived. Karma's not gonna be level 2. Like, and they could have anticipated that faster. So around here.
Yeah.
Like before they hit level 2, they should just be walking up here. Like instead of you can kind of learn from what the enemies aren't doing as well. You can kind of reverse engineer it. Right? Because the thing about what people say when they're in like low elo, and they say like, "Oh, I'm not getting better because I'm not getting good practice." You're trolling. Like you're just not seeing the game, like how do I say this, in a much bigger view. You're just locked into, oh, this is what happened in the game. That's just what's gonna happen every single time, you know. But what if, for example, this Lux, instead of walking back, actually walks forward? This MF, as he's CSing this, is also trying to walk forward. They hit level 2, and you guys are perma-zoned from this lane. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't do anything. You're just level 1 Karma. Yeah, they're just gonna tank your poke, and they will deal more damage to Lucian than you could ever do damage to them. So it's hard. Like the situation that you remember, again, I wanna put all the emphasis on this, that it was all you that did this. You had the choice to not look at bot lane, to not join the lane level 1. Now you are having a hard time in lane. That is not the expected result in the first 2 levels. And we're gonna loop back to what we've talked about. If you had just formulated like a simple early game plan during the loading screen or during the champ select, then this would have all been avoided, because your approach would be so different. Okay, this one's a bit unfortunate. And
Yeah,
he got hit by a
caught.
binding. Yeah,
But
nothing you could do here.
yeah,
Although something to
11
mention.
up.
Yeah, something to mention here is like, why'd you even press ignite?
I thought he just YOLO it, go in.
How?
Like a little.
Look at what's happening. Right? Look at how long it's been running. Because for you to formulate that thought, you would have to either have assumed that, or you should have been staring at Lucian. But like, stare at Lucian for a bit. He's so scared. Look, so scared. He's even running away from the binding. That was an accident. He didn't walk into that because he was so aggro. He was running, and he still got hit by the binding. Even after the binding ends, his first click is to cleanse and click out. Look, this is where he clicked. and you haven't
Mm.
casted Ignite yet. So there's no way he's gonna engage from this HP. And I'll give you another layer. That's already like 3 or 4 layers. The next layer on this cake is that even if he all ins here for some reason, there is not enough damage. Lux. Like Lux has 2 high HP. You're level 1. Her base HP is higher than yours. Her base damage is higher than yours. There's nothing you could do. It's basically a 2v1 if MF starts walking up. Look, it's not even close. Even if like he threw like an extra auto in there or two, MF had heal. There's no kill. So we wasted Ignite, and that's kind of a big thing because we're behind in lane, right? Our way to get back into this lane because of how level 1 worked was to get a kill. An unexpected kill, an all-in, and we don't have the Ignite. This is really bad news. Like the lane is now going as bad as it can be at the first 2 levels. And this is why the laning phase is so important, because a lot of these like small details start adding up real fast. That a lot of the session, I predict, if I'm gonna put this VOD up to YouTube,
Mm-mm.
a good amount of this like timestamp is going to be the early game, because everything else that happens in this game, whoever gets fed is not on you anymore. So this is the only thing you can control, and you
Yeah.
could tell based from our discussion, right? And the things I've been telling you, that you could have done so much more, right? You can't entirely blame Lucian in this case. So okay. Also, just saying, as an your ADC would hate you for last hitting this one. It is not being in danger of like getting attacked yet or anything. You just kind of yoinked it.
Yep.
Okay. In future, now I know the mindset is like, like, well, it's solo queue. I want to carry. I want the gold for myself.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's more of that kind of ano na for at that point kasi
Right. But
that
it's an
kind of
unhealthy
mindset.
habit.
True.
So yeah, the thing that you're doing after that though, like when you're only like last hitting, when it's absolutely necessary, I think it's okay. Solutions can never get those minions, and it's
Yeah.
much better. Hmm? Yeah, it's much better to get those minions than it going nowhere.
Yeah, I told him to freeze the wave so that it will stay there, but yeah, he continued pushing.
Uh
I even spam pinged. I think it would be frozen there, exactly there, because the tower won't hit it, sakto lang. But yeah, but
yeah, yeah.
I think I could have told them earlier, sana.
What's
Siguro
incoming?
that's what I could have.
Tell him. Well, okay. Well, free advice. Okay, it's usually not worth talking to these people.
Okay.
I mean, you can already see it, right? I mean, it's obvious, right? Like you typed in freeze, and this guy will still hit. Yeah, see? Doesn't matter. This guy doesn't read chat. This guy doesn't care about your opinion. Your support. Right?
Mm,
Everyone's like egoing like in this game. So
I guess so.
there's no point. I mean, at the very least, I like what you did with your pings. That was actually very like a good like spice to it. But don't type to them. It's a waste of time. At least pinging like keeps your mouse and like in your keyboard in the right positions. But like typing gets you all fuzzy. Whatever, it happens. You just gotta adapt. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's not on you. It's whatever. Okay, so now he wants to push it. You have to adapt. Okay, now you want to play the lane as if how he wants to play it. That's just how it is. Um. Okay. We popped our first biscuit already. What?
Mm-mm.
When?
I think when we skirmished earlier when Lucian died.
Wait. No way. You popped it after getting.
Oh, I early.
Nah, man. No, dude. Okay. Reason number one, or instance number one, where biscuits are absolutely useless. Number one is that biscuits scale off missing HP and mana. You using it here Makes absolutely no difference. It will heal you like 10 HP and like 5 mana. Guaranteed. It's so
Okay.
useless.
I thought it's like parang mini pot lang siya. But
Nope.
okay. Fine.
It's so now it's useless. So
Yeah.
now
Okay. I've been using it wrong.
you've been using it wrong. But
Okay, now
also,
I know.
we're going to count the situations where you could have had a biscuit and whether it mattered. Because I'm really
Mm,
going to nail down this point because like if this is gonna be on YouTube, other people would see it, right? I don't want to get another karma in my game and like doesn't pick revitalize or resolve or something of that sort, right? Okay, we got our second biscuit somewhere here. Okay, let's see when you use it. Not just the mini game in this coaching session. Like when do you use the other biscuits? Um, all right. So first here. Okay, so Lux has no binding. Okay, moving forward. Okay, it should have been the Mantra Q though. I like the idea. I like the idea that like you're going for a punish because they whiff their abilities. Okay, but that should have been Mantra Q. The clear shot.
mm, yeah.
Yeah. So and there's no reason to save your mantra, by the way. Like in lane, always just mantra Q. There's like very rare
Wow.
instances where you would mantra W, um, and like almost no instances where you would like mantra E.
Mm.
Because it's
There were
doesn't matter.
times kasi like I notice lang kapag when I play Karma is that I always like favor Mantra W in case we skirmish those kinds of fights, like small fights to tank a lot of damage so that my ADC could free hit.
Yeah, but your mantra W also scales off missing HP.
Mm-mm.
So if you're not, if you're only so think about it this way: if you're saving mantra W for that specific situation where you're about to all in and you're about to gain a lot of HP because you're missing a lot of HP. So when are you ever utilizing your mantra,
Mm,
right? Like you're just the thing about Karma that's so broken. That's why people hate this in like higher elo, is that you have an ult at level 1. No other champ, no other support champ has that capability to the same degree as Karma. So uh, your best way to abuse it is to keep using it, right? Keep
okay.
using mantra Qs, um, keep landing your abilities so that you can reduce mantra's cooldown, rinse and repeat. That's how abusive Karma should be. Also, a little bit of like positioning talk. I think no, I think it's much more relevant here. Um, once we get into the stuff.
I,
This what?
I feel like I could have walked up more here.
Yeah.
Mm,
In general, like Karma gets to walk up a lot because you get like a free shield.
yeah.
You get to mantra Q someone, and it's hard to trade. Yep.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at the map kasi I feel like kasi I was scared of the Zac coming. Maybe
Mhm.
that's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, oh yeah, good thing you mentioned that because you mentioned that. Wait, where is it? Oh, there's not yet. Okay, it hasn't come yet. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So we're now waiting for the wave to come in. Uh, okay. Again, typing is so useless.
Yeah.
Like typing to give info is fine, I think. My opinion. Like for example, like bot no flash. Or I don't know, something like that. Although a lot of times really unnecessary. You could ping their flash anyway. You could ping their missing. A lot of things you could ping now, especially with the new ping system.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oops, sorry. Uh, wait. Okay, fine. Okay, what happened here? Sorry. Hmm. Okay. Nice. You played this out pretty much perfectly, I think. You got your shield up. Nice. Okay. You're landing everything. Nice. Okay. Cool. You did everything you could do to get as much from that all in. That's good. Proper
Yeah, I was
usage of
trying to wait. Didn't
Mhm.
see. Zach here to go in that time.
Oh, oh, he does go in
But
the next turn.
yeah, Lucian was very low. I could have shielded him in there.
Yep, you could have. In fact, this is one of the rare times where I think Mantra E is better, but I think you were slower.
Mm.
And also, you walked into the Zac E.
Yeah.
Let me see that again. Okay, Flash Live. Okay, not the worst. Oh, oh, don't be too daring.
Yeah, I was daring them kasi Viego was near.
Okay. Oh my god, I thought it would be one of those moments where you flash to live and then waste it anyway. Okay, so here, that's fine. Personally, I think rushing enchanter items is just broken.
Okay. Yeah.
I think
So
the
tier
power,
1 boots could have been okay lang.
yeah, I think the power of like completing mythic fast makes like enchanters so strong compared to when they don't have the mythic. So I think just powering through like getting Kindle Gem or something of that sort, um, and getting closer to your mythic item would have been the better call here. Because realistically, what this changes is that you just get to cast your Q more, and that's it. You're still going to wait for your mythic for your next power spike. So nothing much. I mean, I guess it helps with like dodging like Lux Qs and like saving yourself from like MF stuff. But again, as discussed prior, we could have avoided that by just buying tier 1 boots and then mythic,
Mm.
adding towards mythic. Okay. Um. All right. This is fine. Wait. This is fine. Miss anything? Place the ward here. Okay. We're not totally against that. Uh. Okay, Mantra Q. Nice. All right. So far, so good. Seems like you're playing well. Ooh. Okay.
Was it better if I walked around? I don't think ano kasi if I
Here.
walked around the Lux E, yeah, there.
No.
If I no,
Doesn't
okay.
matter. Yeah.
Because I can't really reach them at that time.
Yep.
Yeah. See,
Like
I
like
tried.
the moment like she throws the binding here, this is what killed Lux. In case you want to reverse engineer it, the
Mm-mm.
moment she threw the binding here, and
Uh,
Viego cast ult, it's doomed. You're dead. You're slowed. Your binding doesn't work.
mm-mm.
Like
Yeah,
you'll just die regardless. Okay. So okay, what's happening here?
I was calling for Dragon,
Wait. What?
but
Wait.
they were still playing around mid.
Okay. I mean, that's wait, do you press tab ever? Wanna see something?
I think very short lang yung when I pressed that.
Oh
Ayan.
my god. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready as it's coming up. Oh, this is gonna take so long. Like you guys have no
Yeah,
damage.
we don't have damage at that
You guys
time.
have no damage. Wait. Okay, so in the future, don't like initiate. I would say, in like the first like 9-10 minutes, don't initiate dragon calls. The only time you should ever do dragon is if your jungler is so annoying to the point that he would tilt if you guys didn't go to dragon. Then yes, follow him up. But the better call here, the reason is this dragon would take too long to kill. I mean, you guys have been working on this since what's the timer? Let's see.
We took
Start
too long.
hitting it
Yeah,
at here. 8:27. Look at the
8:27.
timing that you guys ended. Look at this. It's crazy. You a full 30 seconds.
Yeah,
Almost 28 seconds on this one dragon. And it's just Cloud Drake. I would have maybe um I would have maybe argued against other Drakes like Ocean in an early game would might be a bit debatable. Infernal, Mountain, anything else, and it's just a Cloud Drake. Like, come on, man. You're really telling me that it's worth 30 seconds to go for that? Meanwhile, what you're losing is that now MF shoved Wave Bot and that thing is gonna crash under your tower, and you might miss it. You might. Now it's good for you guys that Zach donated a free kill, right?
Mm.
This guy received a huge PayPal check from your jungler and just decides to int. Sure, yeah, but like there are instances in this game where, or other games, that doesn't happen. Luckily for you guys, you didn't lose so much on the minion wave, but
Mhm.
at the same time, um, you could have been farming this wave, like
That
whichever
bot.
MF is
Yeah.
on, yeah, instead of doing that, and it's just a complete waste of time. Also, now you're like 1 HP. Wait, I missed out on like the biscuits usage again. I don't want to go back at it though. But based from like a glance, you never needed it. You almost kind of used the biscuits for fun. It never changed anything.
Mm.
Okay. Now you're recalling because you're very low. I the moment the moment that Lucian canceled, I think I would cancel as well.
Okay.
Because the thing is, this next wave is very soft. They could shove it in faster, and I feel like he would need your help in CSing this next wave. Because the thing is, I'm scared that Lux might get 6 anytime soon. I think she's very close. I think she's like maybe granted 3 or 4 minions XP away from getting 6, and MF is already 6. So if, let's say for example, this wave disappears because of like Lux MF wave clear, and then they crash the next wave, I'm afraid that your Lucian can't get CS or he dies.
Mm.
So it's much better to first like sync up your timing with your ADC. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see what's gonna happen. I haven't seen this game, so I don't know if that's about to happen. It would be funny. Um,
Yeah, I think he dies.
because if he does, then that's on you because you recalled.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was level 6. But if it's coming in though,
Oh wait, it worked out.
MF killed. MF killed. Okay. Okay, he got bailed out. He got bailed out by, and also
In
they
the field.
didn't. Yeah, they didn't really push for the advantage. But you get the concept that I mean, right? Like
Yeah.
they've been super aggressive because they know you recalled. They saw it.
Yeah.
They could have taken that opportunity to punish you. So it would have been so risky. So the theme that I'm trying to go for here, when I'm trying to like coach people in the early game, is that what could you have done better regardless of like how it turned out? Because
For the enemy. Yeah.
obviously, like it's going well for you. Like it doesn't look like you're playing bad, but if you look at how much I've criticized already, like
Mm-mm.
you could have done so much better. And that's the difference between like your level of play versus like other like higher rank players. Is that they're always like one upping their game.
Mm.
Okay. So this I didn't kind of hard for me to tell. Wait. You press tab? Okay, you press tab. Okay. There's hope. Oh god. Oh
That's
god.
very fast.
Are you even okay?
Sometimes
Uh
force of habit.
okay. Next thing I want you to know is that you should be able to press tab because you want to gain information. Like
Mm.
yeah, I can understand as a habit, but like when you're the reason why I think pressing tab here is like valuable, especially in this play, because now right now Lux is has hit like tier 1 tower. I'm pretty sure.
Mm.
So the choice between roaming and leaving your Lucian, um, and helping your team here is like a question on whether how good is the game state relative to your team, based on like items and stuff. Like who should you be around, who should you be playing around with, etc, etc. And when I look at this scoreboard and look at all the lanes, I'm thinking like, well, Fizz and Viego are so strong, they probably don't need me here. I would just path back bot. Because the only way that they can get back into this game is if MF and Lux kill Solution, like over and over and over again. MF gets to get more items, and it's doomed. Meanwhile, if you stay in bot and your whole team just keeps killing their top side, it's a free game. So that's why I think this rotation issue is a mistake. Like
Yeah.
yeah. And I think we would see it here. Let's see your impact in this like fight.
Man.
Let's see. Let's see. Let's keep going. Maybe we had something here. Oh, you're just gonna recall. Wow, crazy how that works. That's what I mean. Cause now, yeah, like look at what happened to Lucian. Lucian shoved the wave, but he can't like go any further because he doesn't want to get 1v1 by the MF. Maybe he's scared. Maybe you guys could have been like poking the MF or killing the MF right now, or something, threatening to kill. Anything. Anything that's more active. I tell this all the time during my streams. Like every time I play support, you always want to look for the active idea. Right? Always, if you're doing nothing as support, which is what you did on the Herald rotation, then you're not playing your job well. In the early game, supports are so crazy OP that you get to dictate like every single move. Like you get to dictate how you want to play lane, how you want to like ward, how you want to move with your jungler. Like so the point where you're just running around and recalling every single time you have that as a support, it means you're doing something wrong. Always reflect on those moments. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Like if because the thing is, at the end of this like coaching session, like you might have to rewatch this a bunch of times to absorb everything. But the one thing that you could instantly apply is that, at the end of every game or like during the game, I should take notes. Okay, right there at this timer, I didn't do anything. I want to look back at the VOD after to see what I could have been doing. That should be the mindset as support. Because again, if you're AFK or not doing anything, not making anything significant, means you're just failing in support early game. This is good. Did you mantra W? No, you
Yeah.
didn't. Oh
I
my
did.
god. You're full
How I like
HP.
Manta W.
Oh, okay. Fine. You get the kill anyway. But like you get the kill anyway, but like you the how much did you heal? Do you have the heal numbers up?
I don't think so.
53, 51. You healed 100 HP. Let's see if it mattered. Ready? Let's see if you go down to like 100. Wow.
No.
Wow, Mantra W is so OP. Okay, don't do that.
Yeah.
I swear, just Mantra Q in the early game and you would have more success and like because look at how dicey this is. He's 100 HP.
Yeah.
If they had coordinated their spells better here, let's see. What did they whiff on Lucian? Wanna see? ER, okay, on Lucian. Lux with
Yes.
the ult.
Yeah.
Lux with the ult. If that Lux ult hit, you guys are dead. Both of you. That's so close. And I'm not saying the moral lesson here is that I'm not saying that Mantra Q is correct because it would have avoided the situation. No, it would have reduced the chance of that situation like going there in favor, right? Because that's 100. You had the vision, right? You had the vision.
Yeah.
Like when you saw this Lux, I'm like, yo, hey Lucian, yeah, let's go. You were sending a signal to him, boost him up. Guy's dead. Yes, that's good. This is good that you saw it. I really appreciate that you saw it. But we want to avoid that instance where you guys like mess up and you didn't get the kill that you wanted because you might say like, ah man, I shouldn't have done that. But no, you should have. You should keep doing stuff like that. Be on the aggressor, be on the proactive side of things. And so yeah, that's what you can learn from there. Like you could keep your intentions the same way, but play it out better execution wise.
Okay.
Everything clear so far? No questions.
Yes. Wala pa naman.
Now, alright. So here we're recalling again. Why? Question is why? Is there okay? Here's
Reset.
yes. I know that you want to reset, but my follow up question for you is that is there a much more active thing that you can be doing right now instead of resetting?
Mm,
Look at
Oh,
everything.
I think we could dive MF. Kasi Fizz was passing bot.
Okay, that's one. What else?
Yeah.
There's many.
Uh, Plates.
No, not that one. Don't be too greedy. You're 400 HP. Right, chillax.
Huh. Wire the map probably.
Yes, you can
Use
ward
the
the
wire.
map. You still have two wards.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and what you're
Yeah.
getting from this recall is like what? An Aegis. Bunch of random
Yeah.
stats. That's not even like it's not even like I would argue that if this was like a complete radiant virtue, yes, by all means recall. So that the next time you're on the map, you're so much stronger. I agree. But you're not getting anything off 1K. So you're just here wasting like 40 seconds. 40 seconds because you have to recall,
Yeah.
channel 8 seconds,
Walk back to
and go
lane.
walk back, and you did nothing for 40 seconds. Can you imagine how long that time is in an actual game? This is what I mean. Support is OP if you keep just like hammering down, getting on tempo, just making proactive moves, and your opponent is choking and gasping for air. That's how support's supposed to be played.
Okay.
Okay? If you're just here recalling, like let me see the recall. The beautiful one. Boom, Aegis and Ruby. Big. Right? And nothing changes. When you get back into the map, look, you could have been here. Look at what's happening
Yeah.
on
They continue the dive at bot.
3v3. Oh my gosh, what if you could have saved Fizz? That's all on you. You could have gotten so much assists.
Yeah.
Diego would have popped off with your shields. Okay, maybe not that one because he got knocked in the tower. But like, you can see where I'm getting at, right?
Yep.
And then here, you walk back, nothing's happening. The action's done, right? I think Nar is too far behind to help. Um, like he's beyond help. He needs help IRL. If he's losing that hard.
He was
Um,
0-5 kanina pa actually.
yep, exactly. So
But yeah.
so there's not much you could do to save that. I mean I would argue you might be able to show up instead of walking mid, maybe, but like that won't change the outcome of the game that much. Like you being able to deflect Fiora from like killing Nar won't affect you that much. Probably you should have still like been there in case you in this case that you're recalled, but it's not as impactful as playing around your carries, which again when we press tab they were like smurfing this
Yeah.
game and like joining this 3-man dive. Because I agree, support isn't just an individual I carry everyone type of role. You will have to a little bit rely on your teammates, but you can't just be like they're making a play, but pretty sure they're gonna smurf it. Like you should be there.
Yeah.
Go crazy with them. If your team is going crazy, go crazy. If your team is chilling, go chill with them. Um, So here, yes, actually, in hindsight, probably it's better for you to just from here stop chasing Z or stop wasting time mid and start like looking at top lane. Right?
Okay.
You have to be always looking at the minimap when you're playing support. Well, when you're playing League of Legends, and see like where the action's happening. And so it's just that in support, because you have so much free time, not CSing and not worrying about too much about waves, you get so much time to look at this part of the screen and you could immediately see like Fiora's already on Nar. I want to look at that with my camera and see if I can go there. Now because I can't see it. Okay, there you go. For a bit, okay, this guy's dead. In this freeze frame, this guy's dead. I can't help him anymore. So you did look for a bit, but you looked a bit late, as I would say. I wouldn't go as crazy as like, oh, you should be as fast as Faker. No,
Uh,
but like,
Hello? Nawala yung mic mo.
wait, what?
Your mic went off a bit there.
Oh,
It's okay na.
okay. I wouldn't go as much as say like you should be as fast as Faker, right? That's too much. But like just if you're playing at normal speed, okay, I see Fiora, right? Like the moment Fiora goes in the map, right? Just check.
There.
Yeah, just check. Doesn't have to be super instant. Look at how long it took you, right? And by the time you looked at it, it's like the fight's already over. So our what do you call this? Our opportunity to make a much more informed decision has now been shifted because we saw the opportunity late. Like maybe we could have been here earlier, or maybe we could have started moving earlier had we have seen this like engage coming from Fiora right away. Maybe we don't know that, but it's always better to like um refine these things. You know.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, this time, I feel like kaya pa sana mag-ward while he was pushing the wave ni Zed, and then
Mhm.
wait for it to crash to the tower. Maybe that could have been a opportunity to ward either top or bot side of the jungle. Like while I was just sitting at tower kanina.
Um. Oh. I
Or no.
guess. I guess. Yeah. You. Mm, wait. Yeah. This will be based off. Okay. So Zach was last
Yeah,
seen
from
bottom.
here.
Okay. I
Yeah, this one. I could have
here.
passed it.
I think. Oh, it's tricky. Um. Let's see. Well, there's no value from you warding top side. That's for sure. Now, is there value from you warding bot side? Um. I don't think it matters because okay. Here's the situation in the map. Zach was last seen bot side. Your jungler is dead. Okay, so Zach is about here. Um, right now your Fizz is also dead. Your Lucian's coming back to lane, and right now Dragon's up in a second. So this is the most important part right now. All of your attention has to be here as support,
Mm,
right here. So I would reserve my wards to commit to a fight here, a potential fight, or if they're already gonna start it, let's say like because this is a scuttle thingy, right?
mm,
The vision thingy. I forgot what it's called.
yeah.
Um, like if they pass through this and they're gonna start the dragon immediately, okay, we can't contest because again of death timers,
Mm,
right? So in that case, I would rather use my wards to ward their top side as like a cross map play.
okay.
Those
But
are the two options. So warding here doesn't make any sense yet. We need to wait for more information on what the enemy team is about to do, and then making a much more informed decision. A lot of League of Legends is about that, especially in jungle and support, where it's a bit more like macro oriented,
mm,
where um you need information to start making a play. Um, Also here, you had the option of freezing this lane to for Fizz.
for Fizz, yeah.
Yeah, just like stand here, shield, and just watch. If Zed comes in, then yeah, let go. But like until then, because he doesn't look like he's gonna contest you. He looks like
Mm.
haha, Lucian,
He
free
wants the
kill.
illusion.
Yeah. So just wave. Again, I understand the solo queue mindset, but it's really a bad habit. As you get higher in ranks, you will start to get flamed by doing this.
Okay, yeah.
And it's just objectively worse for your team. Like that gold won't matter too much. Okay. Um. So where do we place our wards? I forgot already. Because warding is also like a very hard thing that people. Because like one of the things that we're trying to look for when warding is like how valuable, how impactful is the information that we're gonna get from that ward that we couldn't get otherwise. So let's put these two wards as an example. Okay. Okay. So which one of these wards is better? This one or this one?
This one, the one for
The pink ward or the
ready for
green ward?
dragon. The pink.
Okay. Why is this ward worse?
Because we already saw them cross. We already saw Zed cross, and yeah, I don't think there would be others coming from mid.
Okay, so in I let me ask you a question. Would it if Fizz was to be if Fizz were to be in this wave right now and like he's pushing it,
If he was pushing it.
yeah, or something like that, would this ward matter or not?
Mm, I don't think so. Kasi Zach could just jump in from far away.
Well, yes, and um Fizz has a lot of mobility tools. Um,
Ah,
Trickster and the Urchin
the
Strike to
shield.
dash towards minions. Yes, he could probably get away with it. Now,
Mm,
if he doesn't get away with it, let's say he used the spells on the minion wave, then that's on his own. I don't think the ward could have changed that outcome, right?
okay.
So that's why I think this ward is less valuable. Should you have not have placed it? Debatable. I think
Mm,
it's it's okay to place it now because you kinda don't wait. Actually, no. Let me see the time at which you placed it. Yeah, at the time you placed it, at the same time Dragon also got slain. So you were just
okay.
trying to make sure, I guess, of like where people are. But
Mm-mm.
apart from that, I would double think about placing wards like this because I feel like the actual intention there. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is just I want to place my wards.
Yes.
So oh, sorry. Um. Now we can keep going. Oh, there's a big fight. Big fight. Here it is. Okay. Okay. Wait, first and foremost. Hold up. All right. Already. Okay. But my biggest gripe with like Karma players is this moment right here. What's the mistake?
Ult E could have been used here. Then
Yes.
mantra Q.
Look at what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Just imagine how this fight is going to happen. We have Fizz on the flank. They have three people stacked on this bush, and we have full vision, and they just figured it out because of the sweeper.
Mm,
Diego is coming in from this side. Lucian has a good culling angle from this side. They are so doomed. Dak is
mm,
the only one who can survive this long enough for them to like write a story about it to their children. You know, like
mm-hmm.
they're dead. You guys surely have enough damage to kill these guys. And if you don't, you guys are so bad you probably don't deserve the kills. Right? So here, they start off with this all in. As soon as this happens and they committed to fighting you guys instead of running away, you guys won.
Mm-mm.
That should be your indication, right? So here, all you have to do is when we converge here and we have like this little like V formation, mantra
Yeah.
E.
Mantra E.
And it's gonna help so much. Viego's gonna have a shield going in. He's gonna get the movement speed from the culling to help redirect it. Nara's even deeping. It's like worlds, bro. This fight's over. Yeah, I mean, Fizz kind of ran in and like died, but like
Mm-mm.
that that could have gone much cleaner had you have Mantra Eid because like they would have closed the gap up. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, fight would have been a bit cleaner. Like you would have had more impact. Okay. Uh, anything else that happened?
Wala.
Mantra
Other
W to
than I
save
left
yourself.
Lucian.
That's fine. Kind of went in too deep.
Mm-mm.
Okay, let's see if I can. Uh,
I think he greeted for si Zach.
yeah, I agree for Zach. Okay, that's not on you. Okay, so then okay, we just wait here. What happened? Or
He went in.
that's on him. Okay, but okay. So here's another like uh instructive moment. I guess.
Mm-mm.
This tower is going down. Diego is farming here, and there's no way you can stop this from happening. So what should you be doing instead of what you do here? Because what you do here
Stand there.
is you press Mantra Q. Nice. That didn't do anything to the wave at all.
Mm-mm.
Like you might have made it so that the tower takes like one less shot, but doesn't change the outcome. And you're doing nothing. You're standing still. So if you're in a spot where you're like standing still and doing nothing, you're doing it wrong. So what should you have been doing here?
Reset? No?
Reset's one thing, but that's a bit too passive. Because again, what reset does is that you're going back from the map for 8
Mm.
seconds and then running back again for another 30 seconds or
Yeah.
so. So instead of wasting the extra like 8 seconds from recalling, that's not an 8 seconds from recalling, what
Mm.
should have used this like extra timer for? Think about
Mm.
active ideas on the map you can do.
Push other lanes. Go to the other lanes.
Okay, but what do you do when you go to other lanes? What do you do? Don't push the lane, of
You ward.
course. Where do you
You
want
ward
to
the
ward
jungle.
right now?
Ward the bot side jungle
Bot side jungle?
or
Here?
the enemy. No,
Yeah.
our jungle.
Oh,
No.
our jungle.
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay, but
Those.
that's a bit too passive.
Mm.
Because we're just expecting that we're gonna get counter jungled and we're gonna see it.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Won't
do
I get
anything.
caught if I go to the enemy jungle? Will
Okay,
there be
that's an
surprise?
interesting question.
Mm.
How would you get caught? Can you imagine a way you get caught if you go to the enemy jungle right now? I'll rewind the clip for you just for you to get more information about this about here.
Ah. Huh. Yeah, there. If I start pathing from. Wait, if I path through here, then the tribush. Will they? I'm not sure if they'll see me though, unless it's so
Like,
far dead.
what do you mean, like here?
Yeah, there. Won't they see me there and then just chase me? Probably.
Yes, they would see you.
Yeah.
So don't go there.
So go
This is
around.
not a path.
Yeah. So you go through mid. Here, like the what do you call that spot where I warded earlier? Yeah.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Go through sa blue nila.
Okay, but why? Okay,
Oh
so
wait, no.
hmm?
No, I'm clueless really.
Okay, so I mean, you mentioned a few interesting things. If you're going, like, yes, the path you're gonna take is probably very obvious at this point, just to avoid
Mm.
getting caught. But if you're going to ward their blue side, what is the value in that?
Yeah, there's nothing kasi in 2 minutes pa naman yung blue, right?
And also, even if you see the blue, what can you do? Because this tower is about to go down, so you'll lose control over like a good portion of this map. Your map's gonna look like this for a while on the bot side.
Mm.
So it's not like you could make anything happen on this side of the map. Like, it's not like you could contest the blue or anything. There's no dragon, so the wards here are kind of meaningless.
Mm-mm.
Kind of like an XD if you think about it. Anyway, um, so now the active idea that I want you to see is actually you could start beelining away from here and start going up here.
Oh.
The difference is we have sufficient control over mid because mid towers are still up that you could contest maybe a raptor, so you could ward here.
Mm.
It's kind of messy, but you can understand it. Um, and then Herald is not Herald. I think it is Herald, right? Herald is
Yeah,
coming
it's an
up. Yeah, in about 2 minutes. So your ward's still gonna be up for that time. So you could ward around Herald, maybe like here or like here. It doesn't really matter, right? So this is more active because that's the next play on the map. This is their first play. It's
Mm.
if it was a turn-based game, it's their turn and they're taking this tower, and you just be like, okay, well, I'll end my turn. I can't do anything about that. Okay, the next turn that for you guys, let's say if the turn was passed to you guys, is you wanna play for this Herald, maybe, right? This is a very common thing that people go for. It's like they want to go for Herald, they want to go for like mid tower and stuff like that. But the only thing that you need wards from, or wards for, is this Herald fight, right?
Mm.
So or maybe like the Raptors, something like that. Anything that's more active, that makes more sense. So that's an idea. Okay. Um. Oh yeah. Uh. Because now that we stay here, I mean, yeah, they get a bit greedy here. They're probably gonna die for this, sure. But this is just you reacting to their play. And if they had just been like very patient and just reset, maybe, and maybe farmed, um, none of these opportunities would happen. Like you wouldn't know, for example, that their Fiora was just randomly like int here. You don't know that when they were taking tower. So in the same vein, it's still not worth for you to like stand for so long in bot lane doing nothing. Right? What do you do here? Trying to help Fizz. Okay, Fizz dead. Sure. Okay, Lucian's also dead.
Yeah, I didn't bother in at that time.
Okay, here recalling is a good spot because there's nothing to do. People just died. Objectives aren't up yet. Sure. Nice. Okay. Good. This is good. So far, I like it. You're maxing E. Okay. Okay. What are we? So we're warding bot side. Like why?
Mm.
Why are we sweeping right now?
I just thought of just clearing.
Yeah, but like, so there has to be some more thought into this action because like, look at what we did. What we did is that we wasted 2 of our wards,
Mm-mm.
a sweeper, and a pink ward on a part of the map where there's no play happening.
Mm.
There's no play happening unless you're gonna somehow make the argument that we are going to eventually like 4-man push bot and we need the wards. Even then, why is this ward here then? Why are we warding here then? Why are we warding here? If we're going to make a play bot side, it should be the wards are much more deeper.
Yeah.
You know, behind enemy lines so you can get more info right away. But because look at the map. The map right now is that Herald actually wait. Herald just got taken.
Yeah.
Wait, when did that happen? Did that happen before he started warding? No, after. So again, we're making a decision that's based off um like no information yet.
Mm.
To be fair, you could safely assume that they're taking it because your team isn't around the Herald during that time, but you didn't know that. You didn't know that. You didn't have any topside information. There's no indication from the enemy team that they're on Herald. Besides them disappearing on the map, they could just be waiting on a bush
Yeah.
somewhere, right? It's kind of unpredictable, even though it's expected for them that they should be on Herald. You didn't know. Because you could have done the same play. You could have done the same like play where you ward bot side after you confirmed this part.
Mm-mm.
Just wait for a bit. Wait for a bit. If you're too scared to face check Herald, which is fair, then wait for it. Wait until that happens and then boom, wards, 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 right? That's how you should think about it. Because if you're warding before like an important information comes in, then that means you aren't warding with intention.
Mm. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Now our teammates are fighting mid, and okay, here's my gripe with this. Um, okay, so you go, you know they did Herald. Okay, now you wanna go play bot. Okay, let me see your tabs again. Up, up. Okay,
Oh.
up, up. I missed it. Up.
Oh.
One more time.
Oh. There.
Okay. Um. So Lucian and okay, so all of your carries have 1 items. So you're the only one behind. You're the only one behind you, and this is because you opted for Radiant Virtue. Again, if you have Enchanter Mythic here, which I believe in the future you would start doing
Yeah.
now, then you would have your Mythic right now. So it doesn't matter for this game. Uh, but pretty much, okay. Here's the play that I would have liked to make because everything else is even, right? It's pretty
Yeah.
even. Nothing's happening. I would just go mid. The reason being is that defending this mid tower means more than getting the spot tower.
Mm.
Right? Not only is this tower about to crumble and you're in urgent like there's some urgency to defend this tower before it gets destroyed. You must do everything to protect this tower because losing this tower means you lose control over such a big area of the map, like right here. Right, this is your map after this tower falls.
Mm.
Right, so now now if you get this tower, what's gonna happen? And let's say you trade this. It's about the same thing. It's not like you can walk up and hit tier 2. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, I understand you guys can get this because they're too far away from the map. You're cross mapping. But what does that even do? Right? There's
Mm-hmm.
no way.
Yeah.
This tower gets you like a few gold, spread across a few members. Doesn't do anything. Get in there. Get in that mid lane tower because right now your control over the map is still like this. You don't want to
Yeah.
lose everything. Yes. So look at exactly what's gonna happen like after you take this tower, right? Your team is suffering from behind. They can't play. You're not with your team. You're with your Lucian. And you guys are hitting a tier 2 tower from full HP. Look at what the other teams other enemies are doing. They just killed your whole team.
Mm-hmm.
So you being here didn't do anything. It gave you maybe an extra tower damage on the tier 1 bot, but other than that, Lucian could have taken that by himself. Lucian could have been there trying to, hit tier 2 tower in bot lane and trying to uh put pressure in bot. But what changed is that you weren't there for your team. And so when you're asking me to work on a specific aspect of your gameplay where you have like no impact on the game, you now know why. You're you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. Starting from this game is starting to look very stale. At some point, a lot of fights are gonna be happening because you guys have a Fizz and a Zed in the same game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So lots of opportunities for people to just die randomly. So what I would guess is that this game goes on back and forth, and a bunch of randomness happens, and then like if someone eventually wins the game. So because of like one major pickoff, one major team fight, and one side lose the game. But for the most part, most of the game already happened, right?
Yeah.
We've mentioned that we shouldn't be sitting in the bush and splitting XP in bot.
Mm.
Should be more
Early game.
active. Yep. Like we shouldn't be um we shouldn't be, for example, uh trying to let's say use like mantra W and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like oftentimes, um the things I pointed out to you in this VOD are stuff that you did in the laning phase, and after that you had issues like rotating to Herald when your team can do it instead of like helping bot lane have an impact. There are times where in this case you rotated with Lucian and went for bot tower and left your whole team. So, and in this game, where a lot of fights are happening, you've only participated in 8 of them. 8 kills out of 22. So looking at the numbers and looking at the VOD, it's clear to me that you're not having an impact because you don't choose the right decisions, the right like places to be in. And I feel like there's gonna be a recurring trend. Um, stuff like also stuff that we went on are like warding without intention. Um, like uh like for example, there was that like pink ward here. It's still there
In the
actually.
tribal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still there, and that didn't give us anything. I mean, I'm gonna see for like the next like 5 minutes whether there's something like more instructive to come out. But I I'm almost sold that that's the whole plot of the game. Just a bunch of random fights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just trying to see. Because now you're grouping with the team, but like, uh, it's you know,
It's a bit late. Huh?
it's a bit late because some things wouldn't have happened in this game if you were much more proactive.
Yeah.
So like, I think now you're just kind of like hoping. You're now trying to repair the wounds. When in the first place, you could have been better equipped with the gear to not get wounded in the first place. Uh, Also, I don't like Chemtech second here. I think,
Really?
yeah, I think,
Or is the anti-healing the Oblivion or okay as it is, or what should be the item?
yeah, you can sit on Oblivion Orb and like get into another item. I think completing it. Are you gonna complete it?
Yeah, I completed it.
I think completing it is too much gold wasted because you really need more items. You need more items to be more effective as an enchanter. That's for sure. Is there anything like in this game that's like okay, big team fight? What is that? Is that another Mantra W? No way.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, uh, you're really not using Mantra E at all.
Yeah.
Oh god. Okay. Game ends shortly? No, it still goes on. I just realized the YouTube
Yeah,
thingy. What?
it's
What?
actually a long game.
Wait, what happened in this game?
Some random fights.
Wait. Oh, rewind. What? Didn't
Yeah,
they
that
take?
was my first death, first death gen.
Didn't they take Dragon off that? Yeah, they took Ocean Drake.
Yeah, they talk about.
There's sole point. Yeah, the game is over. Game is over because the reason why the game is over at this point is um they now have so many like macro options, and just a tidbit I would like to add: if you're ever on a soul point, you can always sack this dragon. Like if you're the enemy team,
Mhm.
you could sack this dragon and just get Baron for free. Because if because the enemy team will almost always try to contest this, and it'd be like, oh, they ignore dragon, lol. Um, like you guys could just take Baron,
Mhm.
and inversely, if you know, if they try to sneak Baron, assuming you're the Fiora's team, if they try to sneak Baron, you just get Soul, and Soul is over Baron, like
Mhm.
Soul over Baron. And this specifically because um, Soul, especially Ocean Soul, is so obnoxious. Like the amount of healing that you guys get in one team fight is crazy. So being in the spot, I think is almost game over. So I'll give you a recap, and then we'll get to some questions. So a recap, all right? So first and foremost, in the champion select, like from here, I would say from here, I would be daring enough to say from here, when you see their bot lane, like think about it. Start evaluating your early game plan. Thinking about specifically, it's best to be specific because you'll want to have a concise plan that you could follow, right? Or just an idea, sets of ideas. Whether it's like, okay, I want to poke in the early levels, I want to dodge this specific ability. Sure, just make a plan. Better than wasting your time trying to think of like what would happen in like mid to late game. Useless, right?
Mhm.
Um, that's what you're gonna do from champ select to loading screen. Okay, optimize your runes. Never go brain dead. Sure, let the rune recommender guide you on where to go, but never fully rely on it because every game is different in League. Okay,
Mhm.
in the early game, all right. Um, you should have better camera control. Watch the right the right things at the right
Mhm.
time. I shouldn't be watching Viego clearing camps. It's like watching like like paint to go dry. Absolutely useless. Um I should not be splitting XP in bot lane in early levels, especially when we're trying to kill when we have ignite. Right? I shouldn't be igniting when there's no kill. Um etc.
Yeah.
Um so what else? Most of this stemmed from what you did level 1. Proper usage of like mantra. Again, just
Mantra
trying to,
Q
yeah,
or Q.
mantra Q, but basically um trying to be more aggressive with your mantra, especially in early levels. Pre 6 is when you should actively start to use your mantra. I guess post 6, you can wait for proper opportunities. because you don't want to waste mantra and then they just all in you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but like pre-6, you should be more aggressive. Um, I would say that um, don't initiate these like random like dragon calls, especially like before 12 minutes. I would say because you guys don't have damage yet, no core items unlocked, smites are weaker, um, etc. etc. Uh, recall timers like always
Yeah, I
want to
see.
make sure that the lane is playable for your ADC, and
Mm-hmm.
this is a common trend. Um, I would say that idea that trying to make your lane playable for your ADC is going to be a common idea you would face every support game. Every support game. Whether it's early game, being able to CS against Lux, because it happened earlier, right?
Yes.
Um, um, whether, whether supporting his trades or something like that, or whether it's CSing under tower, always be there to support your ADC, hence the role. Um, so, especially in the early game. Especially in the early game. What else? We talked about like
The warding.
the Rift
Yeah.
Herald Roam, even though like your team had it already. Okay. Um. Oh yeah. And like being more proactive, like finding
Mm-hmm.
the active ideas on the map, instead of just recalling. Like always ask yourself that what can I do? What's the more active? Is there an active play? Is that better than recalling? Always ask questions. Then
Okay.
and here, always look at the minimap. Always look at the minimap and then check your allies as soon as you can. Doesn't have to be fake or fast, but just be there so that we can make informed decisions. In the same line of thought, we can't randomly do actions like placing words without first guaranteeing what the information is we need to make those plays. Right? It's gonna happen a lot. Um, so those are the main things. So main thing is that number one, don't waste time. Don't waste time. Wasting time, I would say, equals bad,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the early game. Early game is all about time. That's the thing that I want for you to first realize. And so, if wasting time in the early game is bad, you could then work your early game plan around this. Okay, so I shouldn't be sitting in this bush. I shouldn't be just waiting for a good mantra timing. Also wasting time. I can't just be like um you know walking behind my ADC and not doing anything with instead of like poking because that's wasting time. I
Mm-hmm.
can't be recalling when there's an active play on the map because there's like dragon, there's like herald because that's a waste of time. So that's the first step. Camera control. Um I should say that this is a much better practice um or you can practice this easier the more thoughtful you are of the game. Like say for example, like, oh, um, what is my teammate trying to do here? Can I help in this dive? Can I do this? Can I do that? Is um is this wave gonna shove? Stuff like that. If you're looking for specific information, um then your camera control would naturally be better. Just like I just wanna put that out there. Um maximizing ability values. Ability values. So the question here is, and probably spells as well, plus spells. So the question that you're gonna have here is that how can I get the most value out of my abilities? Can I hit like a good Q that will slow them, eventually leading to a kill, or um, chunking their HP? Can I get a good root off? Can I block an ability's damage from my shield? And last of all, can I get a good impact on my mantra ability? Can I use ignite just to get a kill? Can I use flash to save myself? Those are the max values you can get from your abilities and spells. You always want to aim for those. Not saying that you only should use abilities and spells where they can get max value, but that's your goal, right? You always work towards it. Okay, so next. I would say, um, What are the notes we can put here? Uh, uh,
Warning.
well, wording, but also like this is more on making informed decisions.
Mm.
Because for me, I think I think that you're making less informed decisions because one, you aren't pressing tab for information. That's first. You are pressing tab, but it's like a millisecond. It's like you had a spasm on your finger. You tapped it. You didn't really gain any information. It wasn't with intention. So tab for with the intention of getting information on like what my carriers are doing, how is the state of their lanes, relative to like what the score line is, what their items are they farming well, etc. etc. Okay, tab. Also look at other lanes. Look at other lanes. Like when we're laning, what we're in the laning phase, nothing's happening, but I should be able to look at other lanes. So just say look or like pan your cam, right? Um,
Mm.
you could also wait on like vision. Like say for example, everyone's not on the map. Maybe they're doing Herald. Okay, wait for them. Wait for a few seconds for them to show up on the map. If they showed up elsewhere, they're not doing Herald. Okay, now I can start to make a play. When they don't show up and they kill Herald, okay, now I can start to make my other play. Right? It's a turn-based game to its core. It's just it's very fast. Right? So combining all these three will give you informed decisions. And you need to do this because you need to be consistent. You can't just be going off impulse. Like, I feel like warding here. Oh, this is a really cool ward spot. I like bushes. Like, don't appeal to your emotions on what you feel like doing. Right? Think about it. This game is an incredibly difficult game. And we know this because in the highest level, so many people or so many teams um, are struggling despite being a top contender team. Like, for example, a good example would be like JDG, the world semifinals, despite looking on their best form, struggled. They didn't even get to the finals. Right? Not that they were bad. This game is hard. To make this game easier is that you need to actively be thinking, right? And
Okay.
all of these things combine into that idea that I'm gonna stop autopiloting because there's a lot to go for. There's a lot to go
Mm.
for. And I guess the final thing that you should work on is just um, trying to how do I say this?
Uh, what's that?
Um, the word I'm looking for. Um, trying to I don't know how to say it. It's kind of hand in hand with informed decisions, but like trying to like gauge like your impact and like the decision that you're making. Because for example, in this game specifically, like you helped Lucian like push bot, even though the decision to push bot wasn't even correct. There's no value of that. So you could have helped your team. The impact that you could have gotten from um let's say um let's say uh looking at Nar and like rotating towards Nar when he was getting like engaged on by the Fiora. The impact that you could have gotten when um you know uh people were getting tier 1 bot, and instead of like having map presence, you just stood here instead of warding their top side.
Mm.
Find ways to be more useful, because I agree, if you keep playing like this, you will lose more games than you should win because you're almost relying on your team to carry. In solo queue, it's never the case.
Mhm.
It's never the case. Regardless of what role you play, it will always be about you. What you can do to make things better. And I feel like this is a very simple checklist, and we can go further on. Like you could, we could go further into um stuff like not taking like CS for your allies,
Yeah.
not
More ano yan.
yeah,
It's like I'm too selfish on my play lang.
yeah.
Yeah, I
hmm
cause solo queue.
yeah, and other stuff like I mentioned specific stuff about warding. I mentioned specific stuff about trying to look at your teammates when they're when they're moving back. Like I'll call this like movement. Because earlier you were saying like, oh, I was expecting Lucian to go in, that's why I ignited. But like you have to like look at people and what they're doing. Are they moving back? Are they giving you a signal to all in? Is a gank coming? Movement's very important to read in this game, similar to like a fighting game,
Mm-mm.
right? Etc. I could go on to this like rabbit hole of of like things you can work on, but these are stuff that like 90% of YouTubers have already said. Right? To work on your warding, to watch how the enemies play. I feel like some people have already said that. But like specifically to you, because I've watched your VOD, these are the five main things that have consistently been a problem in your gameplay. And I feel like I don't even have to watch your other games to know that this is the other like the issue.
Mm.
So that's the recap. I know it's a bit messy on screen, and it's gonna makes more sense once you rewatch the VOD or something, or once you've internalized it. But are there any questions so far?
Hmm. I I still I don't know. How can I like formulate? Because even though I'm watching like kanina, there were the questions you asked me. I
Mm.
can't even get the right answers correctly. Like the time when I was just at sitting at bot, like just standing there. I could have done anything else. I admit, yeah, I could have done anything else, but I don't know which one could have been the right thing to do, like going to the enemy jungle to ward or something like that.
Okay, so this is
Like
where like League becomes interesting, because I if I'm gonna rewind to that, or if I'm gonna go to that spot, um
the one where they took bot tower.
yeah, where they took bot tower, um bit or maybe um because we're trying to address
Yeah, that's
this
yeah.
fact where your problem is you couldn't answer my questions right.
Mm-hmm.
But my goal as a coach is not to give you the answer. In fact, in most of these situations, I just gave you the answer for the sake of giving you knowledge. But what I'm trying to tell you from here, this whole session, is for you to rethink everything that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I I don't care if you find the right answer. If you were left alone in a room and someone told me, "Hey, Notes that's VOD reviewing, and he's wondering how should he have played this wave or this situation," I would be very proud. I'd be like, "Nice, nice. Okay, let him sit there. Sure." Because all I want for you to realize is that being AFK here does nothing.
Mm-hmm.
All I want you to realize is that, okay, step one, find the problem. Step two, get towards a solution. I don't care if you find the correct answer. Because improvement in League of Legends is so scuffed. This game isn't solved unlike checkers. I the answer I gave you probably might not even be optimal. I wouldn't know. It's better than what you're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's the best call here. But I'm telling you, because I the thing is I don't want to rip you off. Okay? We've I don't know how long we've been going in the recording. Or in this coaching session for me to tell you. I wouldn't waste more of your time than this time that I gave you in this session. To say like, oh, if you want to know more about climbing, just get another session. No, you have it now. Now your job is to fix your current problems, right? Limit your champion pool, etc., and work on the 5 bullet points I said earlier, right? And every time you get to VOD review your games, you do the same drills, right? If I'm standing
Okay.
here, what could I be doing? Ask yourself questions. Keep asking. The moment you stop asking questions about what you could have done better, is that you will lose the part here. Can't find any solution because you're
Mm.
stuck. You're not asking for the problem anymore. Like this isn't like this session after this, like let's say overnight, right? You won't get to like gold or platinum magically. I am giving you the tools to work on yourself as a player. Now, if you're in this box right now, um, where like you can't find any impact, all these other things, and I gave you like so many routes to improve on, your job is to work on these one by one. And once you've branched out, you're now out of here. You're now here. You're now out of the box now. Now you're no longer notes now, right? So you've you've come into a bigger box or like a different box. And here you would face more problems. Here you would be like, here I should have been 2.5 seconds earlier. You start getting to the nitty gritty things because you fixed like your fundamental like basic issues as a player, right? So
Yeah.
and this goes on as you fix your problems, you will get into another box because you always have problems that you could get to improve on, and the same tools will be given to you. Just you look at your own game, you spot um, situations that you're in. How do I solve it? And then third step, what's the best answer? I don't care about that. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
All that matters is this part here: finding optimizations, finding things. And the coaching session doesn't end here. Like everyone that I've taught so far, throughout the span of my coaching career, I've always like kept in touch. Well, some people try to ignore me because I don't know, they're busy with life. It's fine, you know. But like because we've had this session already, like it's fine if you contact me if you're like, oh hey, midnight, I got into this weird freeze frame. Can you help me out? Like, what's going on here? I could help you. Yeah, sure. We could discuss. But like the fact that you're even able to like message me and like ask me like good questions for you to like get out of this own box that you've stuck with is already a sign of improvement, and I like that. Right? So that's the answer to your question. I don't care. I don't care if you don't find the right answer. Because right now, all I care about is if you start getting to the habit of thinking in your games, finding solutions, working towards being more active, having an impact, you're gonna get better. I promise you.
Okay.
Anything else?
So far, yun lang.
Okay.
Yeah.